Well, welcome everybody. This is Jamie Haynes with Texans Wake Up. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're in for a real treat. We have Ginger Russell, and she is going to give us the lowdown on the IB curriculum. And Ginger is an education advocate here in Texas. She's a grandma and she's passionate about Texas education and was actually the one who exposed C-Scope many years ago at the state level right here in Texas. And so she's used to looking at harmful curriculums and definitely is all about protecting Texas kids. So Ginger, I will let you just take it away.
Well, thank you very much. Well, I never thought I would be involved in the education end of stuff as far as in the politics is concerned. But I guess, as she mentioned, I helped expose C-Scope back in 2013 at the state level, which was nothing more than Common Core in our Texas schools. And it was in 98% of the Texas schools. And basically the same progressive philosophy of C-Scope, Common Core. They're all still in our Texas school districts today with the diversity, equity, inclusion, and all of that. But I ran across the International Baccalaureate program and became interested in studying that in my county, which is in Montgomery County. Magnolia ISD is the only school district in the county that has implemented the program. And I'd just like to talk to you a little bit about the International Baccalaureate program. It's not based on, it's based on international standards. It is a non-governmental organization of UNESCO, the United Nations Education Scientific Cultural Organization. And it has a non-governmental status, which means they have to adhere to and support the missions of UNESCO. And let's see, here's nothing, but it's just it's another one that shows you that it maintains official status with UNESCO. Now I have people that will argue with me all the time at the local level, but it's absolutely a fact that it is a non-governmental organization of UNESCO. The first Director General of UNESCO was Julian Huxley, and he led out the education scope, and it's totally in conflict with Americans' values. It doesn't support the American values. It's more about world government, internationalism, disarmament, anyway, the organization, excuse me just a minute, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, it supports all the progressive philosophies that we're fighting today in our school, the diversity, equity, and inclusion, which you will see later in the slideshow, which I just recently added one of their new statements on it. We did work, or I worked really hard last year to get the International Baccalaureate program included into the Texas Republican platform at the state convention. And Jamie was there, and there's others on the call that I'm sure were there. So we now have International Baccalaureate and Plank 114 as one of the programs that we oppose as conservative Republicans under the National Core Curriculum. IB is also listed under Plank 274 as advocating for us to withdraw from the International Baccalaureate organization. They put IB, a couple of liberals filed a bill, I can't remember, 111, I believe, during the 79th legislature to incorporate the International Baccalaureate program within Texas schools. There is no oversight over the curriculum. It's not vetted. And so we really don't know what all that's going on. The teachers have to be have to go through professional development by their programs, by the IB program. The sad thing is, it's sad all the way around, but it's divided up in, well, basically three, but it does have four. It can be in your elementary school, in your local school district, where the whole school will be on an IB program, and you can have it in some junior highs. And then when you get up into high school, they'll have the diploma program, which will be your 11th and 12th grade students. And my local school district has just implemented the diploma program. I know that Capel and I believe Garland ISD has it in some elementaries, and I'm not really familiar with what all school districts have it. I know of a few. Let's see. This is just the TEA website, and it'll have a link to different things with IB and Texas IB schools. One thing I find interesting, over the link, it says Texas IB schools. I checked out their website last year. As you know, I've been fighting my local school district, Magnolia, for some time about the IB program. I hate it that I have to fight them. They claim to be conservative and Christian, but they just do not understand what's going on. And as I've always said, I believe school board members are more rubber stampers for the administration. They really don't have any idea what's going on in education today. Jamie?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I didn't know if anybody ever had questions, or how do they do that, or?
You know what? I think everybody, let's hold our questions till the end, and then we'll just have I probably will stop the recording and then let people ask their questions so that that's not recorded and people can just speak freely and ask you whatever they want. But
Okay, that will be fine.
okay.
Okay, what I was going to say, the Texas IB school link over there. When I went on last year, I found some stuff, Howard Zinn, communist Howard Zinn, and that was the resources for the Texas IB schools. Every school district that has IB in it pays $300 to this another governmental group in Texas, and they're fixing to host an IB convention, and it just is very cumbersome. Anyway, I had exposed the communist stuff that's on the Texas IB website, and one of our school board members had them remove it, but that doesn't change their agenda. They're just trying to hide what they're doing. This is Texas for IB schools, and I think it's very small. You probably can't see it, but there's some links on here to the Howard Zinn material. You may can see this was one of them. Teaching for Change, Building Social Justice, Starting in the Classroom. This was on Howard Zinn, the IB website. And like I said, they can hide it and they can remove it, but it does not change the agenda of the IB program. This is still from the Texas IB Teaching for Change, the Zinn Educational Project, and the Students Design a Reparations Bill. You can see that there. I had in my local school district, I found last year, they had a book that they had them read, and it's on the top 10 at Barnes and Noble for CRT, and it was The White Man, the Devil, and James Baldwin wrote the book. This was my school up until last year. If you see, it's World School. It's not an American school anymore. It's a World School. And they had the logo on the left for a long time. Y'all may have seen them at your local school districts. And then they changed it to the one on the bottom right. So it's, people don't really question that as much and don't even really understand what it is most of the time. I think I've covered this. It's a non-governmental organization. The United Nations International School. There is one in New York. It's the United Nations International School, and their core curriculum, of course, is International Baccalaureate. The UNESCO and IBO are signatories to the Earth Charter. It's committed to integrating principles in education, written by Mikhail Gorbachev. And Mikhail Gorbachev is a socialist, and he co-authored the Manifesto of the 21st Century. Let's see. I wanted to show you what, I hope I put it on here. Okay, here it is. The Earth Charter is housed in a replica of the Ark of the Covenant. Now, they have removed as best they could. Here, the helicopter's going over my house now. Anyway, they have removed the best they could any documents online anymore that the IB supports the Earth Charter, but it most definitely does. This was the progress report, the Earth Charter progress report. You can see I did finally capture a copy of it originally. selected a list of international organizations endorsing the Earth Charter, and it had the IB on it. It perverts the directions for 21st century international mindedness. This is another one of the things they push. And it's planetary education involves reimagine the planet in its entirety, wherein there are no others, no them, no we humans, who are committed to redressing the impacts of we humans on the world as a whole. IB is very involved in promoting this is United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Here's some of the key influential educational people behind IB. John Dewey, of course. And as y'all well know, most of you know that he co-authored the Humanist Manifesto. Alec Peterson was the first director general, or one of the first director generals of the International Baccalaureate, and he states that the IB is based on his own deeply humanist and liberal beliefs. This is, I can't remember that, Irma Bakova. The preamble of the, which supports, if you're IB and you're a non-governmental organization of UNESCO, you've got to support their missions, and the preamble of the UNESCO Constitution reaffirms clearly the humanist framework of all thought and action in the pursuit of peace. And peace, of course, at least I recognize it as disarmament. And I've had my school, I titled this under different headings because my school district was combating me and saying it doesn't promote global citizenship. So some of this PowerPoint was geared strictly for people in my area, because I got some stuff off their website. The goal is to create a true global citizen, the ability and attitude that wants to shift another's position as well as our own. For me, citizenship implies action. They're very into action, for creating students to become more of an activist instead of educating the kids. This is off the IB website, Global Mindedness. Predictors of global mindedness, if you'll notice that it's liberal political leanings. They seem to have no appreciation and love for their own country. And it's like the American founding documents. They don't teach those. Educating the global citizen. And I've also, when I first started fighting C-scope, I kept hearing 21st century learning, 21st century learning, and it just baffled me. I couldn't figure out what they were saying. I'm like, why is learning different now than when our founding fathers were here? Why does it have to be so different? And it took me a while, but it's all the collaboration and the group think, and they even sell 21st century furniture where the kids are constantly collaborating and they're in groups all the time, and they sell furniture, where they have to always collaborate and do stuff. They're breaking down their attitudes, values, and beliefs, as y'all well know. Now, my school district also said the material with IB is not Marxist. This is a brand new statement out by IB. Well, I say brand new, it came out in August, and it's a diversity, equity, and inclusion statement. As the IB seeks to take concrete and proactive measures on diversity, equity, and inclusion, we are adopting a new statement upholding these values. And as y'all, if you're paying attention to the news, the diversity, equity, and inclusion is destroying all of our American institutions. This was a tweet off of the International Baccalaureate's Twitter page, where they supported the Black Lives Matter movement during 2020. This is off of the IB website. It supports social justice and equality. And down here, I don't know if you can read it, it said, how can we work towards a more equal distribution of wealth? That's just more. IB promotes diversity, equity, inclusion, and social emotional learning. I mean, I've got all the documents to totally prove what path and their agenda, and they deny it. Sustainable development is not freedom. Not one of the three principles applies. There is no individuality as it advocates group policies. And this is off the IB website. If you look and you research it a lot, you'll find, it's all into the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And they're constantly promoting the children to do activities surrounded that. And I wanted to add, I should have backed under their new director general, I can't say his name, Aki Pekin Hinion. But anyway, he's their director general, and he is working, he's a contributing editor to the World Economic Forum, and he works alongside the World Economic Forum and working towards the fourth industrial revolution. Sustainable development goals, this is also off the IB website. IB has a magazine, it's called IB World. And I got this off of out of one of their magazines about gender neutral schools. And this is a little boy. And I can't really read the information on it right now because it's so small, but there's one of them. This is a tweet up on the top left. It's he, she, and hen. The gender neutral policy eliminates stereotyping, increases understanding of the LGBTQ community, but some researchers argue that it can do more harm than good. And then the bottom right, children pay attention to gender only because adults often label and sort people by gender. Lord help us. I shake my head. IB promotes cradle to the grave, lifelong learning. And that they want to get them as young as they possibly can, as many as you well know. I think this is just something off of their, I tell everybody that the International Baccalaureate, if these students who are under this program have, problems, everything is held under the Swiss government. Other persons, let's see if I can read the bottom one. Other persons with power to appoint members of the governing body, the Swiss Federal Supervisory Authority, is the IBO Supervisory Authority, if I said that right. In other words, it's not under local control as they make you think. It's not. It's under the Swiss government. And as I've said, when they always say they're promoting peace, they're promoting peace education. It's disarmament. They want our guns. One arbiter in accordance with the Swiss rules of international arbitration is the Swiss Chambers of Commerce. It says for the arbitration of disputes. Let's see, this is the east to the west. My pastor spoke on this one Sunday. This paper is a part of a series of papers commissioned by IB and written by IB practitioners. Each paper addresses a topic or issue related to the IB's philosophy or its educational practices. I believe this is the one I have where it argues, let me see if I got it. Let's see. No, I didn't get it. I'm sorry. But it talks about it based in humanism and anti-God. Let's see, is this the last one? Let's see, empathy and scientific understanding create a set of moral values that confer dignity upon human beings who have the capacity, though not the necessity, to say no to God. Anyway, that's about it. I think this was my PowerPoint presentation that I took to Austin when they passed it during the Senate Republican Executive Committee last year. That was prior to me taking it to the Texas Convention. Anyway, and Terry Leo is in the House of Representatives right now, and she does not like IB. And I wish I can get some flame under our legislature's butt to stop it. There's no reason why we should have that as an alternative for our Texas schools. And that's about it. Anybody have any questions?
Can I ask you real quick, Ginger? I just wanted to go ahead and clarify that you did help to get this in 2 of the state Republican legislative priority planks. That the party is against IB, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and you presented the same presentation to the state Republican Executive Committee?
yes, I did.
Okay. Well, I feel like everything that's going on, in our state, our governors, I hope, waking up to, how we have DEI and CRT embedded in so many things. And I know our legislators are talking about it.
Mhm.
Hopefully, maybe we'll get a DEI bill this session. I'm gonna thank you real quick and stop the recording, but nobody hop off, and then we'll open it up to some questions. So hold on one second.